Well, I just got a short story for us tonight. I have a couple, actually, but I'm going to go with this one. Just to kind of, bring us back down to earth a little bit after the scary story. This is a little scary, but, I don't know about that scary.
Dude,
so
I'll be the judge of that.
So
what if we start just rating each other's stories? We all hold up a thumb in the middle of the story. I'm like,
that story was a 4 out of 10. Sleepovers. Did you have them as a kid?
hell yes.
Okay.
I did. My first sleepover, I've said this before. I'll say it again real quick. My first sleepover, it was a friend's birthday party, bunch of people there, and we watched Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. So you guys know this because I've told it to you before, but it was my first time seeing it, my first time away at somebody's house overnight, and I was excited. That is until the scene where they're driving in
Large Marge's truck.
Large Marge's truck, and she makes that face. And the whole buildup of that with the windy road and everything freaked me out. Dude, I called home and my parents.
Oh, you're that kid.
I'm that kid, dude. That happened when I was about 23 years old. No, but.
Bro, I just remember, before I was 13 and going over to sleepovers, we were always watching, PG-13 movies, being all, rebellious and stuff.
How could you?
Watch Planet of the Apes and Tomb Raider.
That shower scene, though?
Dude, bro, that came exactly
Just
to
that
my head.
tasteful side boob.
Very tasteful.
Dude, what are we, sheltered Mormons or something?
Oh,
Hey, no. Any guy is okay with tasteful side boob.
Sure.
Regardless.
So, for me, sleepovers were lawless truth or dares, seeing how far you could push all of the boundaries. It was the best. I have endless stories of sleepovers.
Oh, yeah. They're so good. So normally, they would be a happy time. That's not always the case. So there was this one girl who submitted her story. She was about 12 years old at the time, and her parents were out of town, but her older sister was kind of the babysitter for her, and she was going to have a friend over that night to have a sleepover. Now, her friend hadn't shown up yet, and she was kind of getting anxious to have her friend over and start, playing games and stuff like that. And she hears a knock at the door.
Must be my friend.
Must be my friend. She runs to the door. Opens the door. Not her friend. It's actually this guy standing there, like a middle-aged guy. He has this clipboard in his hand. He's wearing kind of like a striped polo shirt. And she's like, "What?" Kind of disappointed, but, "Wow, what do you need?" And he says, "I'm here to check the gas." And she's like, still disappointed it's not her friend. Okay, go in. You can do whatever you need to do. And so he comes in and starts walking up the stairs. And as he gets up the stairs, he kind of disappears from her field of view. But then her older sister, comes around the corner and was like, "Who is that?" And she says, "It's just the guy here to check out the meter on the gas." And her sister kind of stands there for a second and then starts freaking out. She runs to her sister, grabs her by the arm, runs outside really quick, and points to the meter by the side of the house and said, "That's the gas meter." And so they're both standing out here, and they realize that whoever this guy is not who they think he is. They see this older gentleman walking by their house, and in a split second, the older sister says, "Oh, hi, Dad. The gas meter guy just came. He's trying to check the gas in the house." And all of a sudden, and this older guy, as he's walking by, is like, "What are you? What?"
Yeah.
Lay off the drugs, kid.
And as this happens, though, because she made it sound super loud so that everyone could hear, this guy all of a sudden runs out of the house and kind of runs down the street. They kind of go back into the house, lock the doors up, wait for her friend. Obviously, she still enjoys her sleepover. But nothing happened. A few weeks later, a girl goes missing in their town. And in the investigation, there were no signs of forced entry. The police couldn't figure out what was going on. And the two girls had kept this a secret for the whole time. They hadn't told anyone, not even their parents.
They probably thought for some reason they'd get in trouble.
Probably. At this point, they go to their parents and they go to the police and they report the incident. Now the police are like, oh no, this is probably the same guy that we're looking for then now. And this is probably how he got in. And after finding out kind of like the MO and what they're looking for, they find the girl that was missing a few days later. And she's dead. But she had been kept, starved, and then burned. Whoa. And that could have happened to this girl who had her sleepover just because of letting a dude in the house. So moral of the story is that fucking gas meter is outside the house.
Lots of morals, actually.
Yeah, dude.
Should be pulled from that. No.
Dude, that sucks that like so much hinges on just what could be like a careless mistake, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know. For me, whenever I hear stories of that, I'm looking for patterns and things that I can avoid.
Mm-hmm.
But that one is just like,
It is a mistake.
you could just have accidentally opened the door and then accidentally believed them, you know?
Well, this is what, like, I don't know about you guys, but my parents kind of taught me, like, we have a family password. If someone's here from us, they have to give you the password and, like, you know, the stranger danger stuff, right? So that's kind of what I would lean towards teaching my children, should I ever have them in the future. But teaching them to just be aware, especially in this day and age, dude. There's so many creeps and pedophiles and killers and all kinds of stuff.
It's hard because as a kid, you assume so many, like you assume the best, especially from older people.
Right.
You know, when you were little and you looked at even someone in high school, you thought their life was perfect and figured out.
Yeah. Adults know everything. Yeah.
Yeah. No. But as a kid, that's all you assume. So I think as a parent, this is coming from someone who obviously has zero parenting experience. But more than teaching them to don't talk to strangers is what Sean was saying, is just to be aware. But I don't know.
Aware for what?
How do you teach that? It's like the first thing I thought of was, you know, don't, like, if someone's trying to be nice to you, if a stranger's trying to be nice to you, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a tough one. It's tough because you don't want them to be afraid of life.
But you don't want to raise a little dickhead who's like, get away from me, jerk. And it's like, dude, I was saying hi.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, don't believe everything that people say. I don't know.
It's hard. And like, when do you start to tarnish a child's innocent view of the world and start to tell them, you know, there are bad people, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that also kind of sucks that you have to do that.
It sucks, and that makes it feel like you kind of have to be a helicopter parent. At least, like, I don't know. There's some eras in time, some neighborhoods, some parents who just let their kids play out in the street. Anytime my parents let me do that, the best. It was all the memories. And then you hear of some of those kids who have those run-ins. I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I've thought about it a lot. There are watches you can buy your kids that have like tracking on them. Mm-hmm. They're not phones or anything. They're just watches with tracking. And they're cool. Like when you're a kid and if you got like a high-tech watch, you'd be like, this is sick.
I feel like maybe just be like a parent that says, hey, I trust you, but you need to be careful and be aware. But like you can't. Yeah, no, I agree. Not to the helicopter parent type.
Yeah, it's not the best way by any means, but I think it's interesting how when they are presented with those situations to learn on their own in a natural environment, that they start to align with some like primal instinct. They know to communicate, or their senses start become heightened.
Right.
To know their surroundings and the people that are talking to them. And
yeah.
So I wonder how much of it is, what can I say to help them learn? And what can they just learn on their own? But you don't want them to learn in the worst
hard
way
way.
possible. Yeah, the hard way, you know?
Parents out there, if we have any parents listening, one, I'm very surprised. 2. Tell us what you think. Like, how'd you teach your kids about that? Because it is a weird subject. I don't know.
It's true.
I don't know how to approach that.
Yeah. Help us
Not at
out.
all.
Yeah. 3
Sean-
a.m. podcast where we teach parenting advice.
Thanks for starting that discussion, Sean.
I got you.
Was that all you're going to do tonight?
Well, on our live story, I said that I had a story about drugs. It's a little bit longer, and we're going overtime right now, so I'm going to save it till later. Sorry.
Dang.
It's all good.
No
that
worries.
just means we're prepared.
Hey.
We're peppered, dude.
Awesome.
But
Dude, your story tonight, classic.
it's a fun one.
I give it a thumbs up.
Dude, I also give it a thumbs up. Or a shaka, bro. Anyway, this has been a good time.